But okay, I guess we'll close out our nerd news with this final piece here. So really interesting. We're talking about so much DC news. Actually, I didn't even realize that. But Suicide Squad is going to undergo expensive reshoots to make it more fun. So when the Suicide Squad trailer was released, most people remarked at how fun it looked in sharp contrast to the bleak, dark world of Batman v Superman, and fans connected to that like big time, with the trailer receiving around 15 million views on YouTube and stuff like that. Oh, I'm sorry, 15 million more views than the Batman v Superman trailer. So according to Birth Movie's Death, all the jokes or levity that you see in the first Suicide Squad trailer consisted of the entirety of all the jokes or levity that you'd see in the whole film. Namely, the film really isn't as fun as the trailer would have you believe. So given that and the critical response to the distinct lack of fun in Batman v Superman, the site reports that Warner Brothers is currently spending quote-unquote tens of millions to alter the tone of the film and bring some humor to the going-ons. So they say they're going to quote beefing up fun character moments and interactions. So that's really interesting, man, because I totally got the vibe that the movie was going to be fun, but now apparently they're saying that no, it's not. It wasn't going to be fun. That that was all we saw in the trailers. Because me personally, I'm actually really looking forward to Suicide Squad. It's really, I think if this movie bombs, by the way, dude, that DC is kind of fucked, because a lot, we'll get to that later, but so there's a lot of critical backlash on Batman v Superman, and so if Suicide Squad gets bad things again, that doesn't look good. It's kind of like when Marvel started and they had Hulk and Iron Man. Iron Man did great, but Hulk kind of like lagged a bit. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, kind of says everything what we thought of original of trailers being misleading and misperception of what you're kind of thinking.
Big time. Holy crap.
So yeah, I think this will probably we'll combine this with our topic of the week, Chris.
That's a good idea.
We'll transition into it completely because I feel like it's going to make a lot of sense for us to talk about it in the topic of the week. So this is completely unintentional. I think I've caught Chris off surprise. So basically, Chris thought
my pants are down to my ankles, so you definitely caught me by surprise. I thought I had time to put them up. No, I'm kidding.
So basically, Chris thought this topic, which was talking about the fact of reviews versus box office revenue, the impact of critics, and getting rid of the Academy, mainly just reviews and box office revenue, and how influential really are. In 2016 and everything else. Yeah. Batman v Superman, which is the biggest topic of it all, is talking about how it surpassed 500 million at the box office.
Yeah.
So we'll combine this with the actual news piece and do one big segment.
Yeah, for sure.
So this kind of like is a good starting point to just talk about with the Suicide Squad, which is like it is sent shockwaves to Warner Bros. Like they kind of understood what the kind of impact is now. Is it indirect? Maybe is it direct? Who knows? Like I'm going to just make like assumptions here and everything else.
Sure.
But kind of like they are changing the tone. Maybe Suicide Squad is a new springboard for other films. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's kind of like testing the waters and seeing if something else is a better formula. Suicide Squad hasn't got the completely best reception possible. Like I've been a fierce critic of like Will Smith being in there because it makes no fucking sense. And like other things here and there. So them doing things over and kind of like. Them as Warner Bros. An example, we've talked about them in gaming. They are fucking completely misleading.
Yeah.
In terms of like trailers and marketing promotion, they'll build something up and it can be the shittest thing possible. Unless it's like a really credible kind of people behind, like Nolan directing a Batman movie or something, it is going to be really shit. So like it is kind of like saying something about it. Batman v Superman, it's got big box office revenue. The main thing is as well, even if it was shit, it's Batman v Superman. The name kind of is one of those things, but you're on a Friday night out, you're like, you know what? We'll go and watch that. Because how many people really look at the movies list when they go out? Some people just go to the cinema because they want to watch something and they look for something. It's like, hey, you know what? 20 minutes, we can wait and watch Batman v Superman. Fair enough. But at the same time, when you watch it and it's bad, it kind of sends bad signals about a sequel. The kind of idea that they're making a Justice League movie and kind of like how much to, as you said, your kind of own reviews, kind of that thing where you're like, yeah, maybe I'll wait for Blu-ray release for the next movie. And at the end of the day as well, like no reviewers kind of like slashing this film because like when they did the premiere, I think it was the day after or something, like the reviews came flying and they were like crushing them. I think it was on 11% Rotten Tomatoes or something.
Dude, it
Batman
was
v Superman.
so bad. Yeah.
Really low, and it's like that's not right. And then the reviews kept adding on it. It's like, yeah, it's staying on 11%. Right? Okay, this isn't saying
When it
this isn't like,
becomes unanimous, you get scared. If
yeah.
it's a couple of people, but when everybody says similar things, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's really shocking for that, and it's like, right, okay, this is out. As Snyder, unfortunately, against his PR team, became very defensive, and you must have seen the articles where he kept coming out and defending it. And he compared it to the Force Awakens, they compared it to this, and it was like it was really bad play on his part because he really didn't. Like he was getting really defensive to the point where it's like maybe they just have it out for me. Some people probably do have it out for Snyder, but at the same time, like it was one of those things where people universally deemed it as like not a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Especially with the kind of expectations, the hype, the marketing, everything else they put into this movie ridiculous. So we'll take into account with Warner Bros. If they're going to put the same amount of marketing promotion into Suicide Squad, which I doubt.
Yeah.
I think it'll just be one of those. It'll be even further down the budget. But it is important though, because reviews are really important. They are very critical. People go and look at reviews like with gaming. If we go back to gaming, we work in gaming. Like the first thing people do is go on the site and they look for review embargoes to break. And people know, like I think journalists and everyone else has said it. Even like I've said it before. If a review embargo is the day after the game and you can play the full game and everything else, it kind of sends a bad sign about it.
Yeah.
Well, then you have and then we talked about I think we talked about off podcast last week, like Remedy last week, maybe the week after before that, but like Remedy sent out review copies for Quantum Break in the midst of March. The game comes out tomorrow, which is when you'll get access to this podcast. Yeah, you get access. Is it out tomorrow? No, it's not out tomorrow. Sorry.
No. The reviews. Yeah. The reviews come out tomorrow. Right.
Yeah, Quantum Break's reviews come out tomorrow, and the game comes out next week, and you'll obviously the podcast comes out tomorrow, so you'll hear that. But like the difference is there. Like if a developer has that much kind of like positivity behind them to think that the project's going to do good, then fair enough. But at the same time, with like this, is really really bad. It sends real bad signs in terms of in Batman v Superman where it's going to go now, what the kind of future of DC movies are, etc. etc.
No, definitely. I mean, dude, you said a mouthful there, and I pretty much agreed with like everything you said. It's like, dude, like okay, like that's always been the ongoing thing, right? A movie. It's kind of funny because you could review a movie and you could say this movie sucks complete ass and it's terrible and fuck it to hell. But if it makes $500 million, if it makes $1 billion, if it makes all of its money back and becomes a huge success, like you're speaking with your wallet, like you're telling the studio, hey, look, it sucked, but fuck it, I saw it anyway. They're not going to care. Like some of them don't. Some of them are like, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. But I have to say, this is good news that Warner Brothers, if this rumor turns out to be true with Suicide Squad, that they appear to be listening to people. They're like, look, we might have like dodged the bullet, right? With making $500 million on this movie, probably even more when everything's all said and done. We can't do that with our next movie, with Suicide Squad, because if people think we're making all these bleak movies and there's no fun in it, you look at Marvel, which is obviously their direct competition, and Marvel, they're having fun with these movies, but they're also giving you a little bit of, like darkness in it and some like really cool stuff. So they're kind of like spreading out their feelers a little bit more. So yeah, I think it's a fine move. I think they should just straight up say they're doing it rather than just it be a rumor. I hope the rumor is true. That just shows that they're attending to their franchise more and that they're being very serious about it, and they're trying to not have their next movie get critically fucked, for lack of a better phrase, like Batman v Superman did. And dude, there's other. I mean, I gave you this example before we started recording. Look at X-Men Origins Wolverine. That movie,
Definitely.
Yeah, that was considered a success. That movie came out in 2009. And back then, you could making $373 million. That was a success. So the movie cost like around $150 million. It made $373 million. It was a success. It was a huge, thing. It was one of the top grossing movies of the year, if I recall correctly. But everybody thought it was terrible. Critically, people said it was a piece of shit movie that was boring. Even Hugh Jackman didn't like it. Even he was like, "Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it." And like everyone was kind of like, "Fuck this crap." And then what's it called? Then they made a sequel. They made The Wolverine, and that movie kicks ass. It's a really fantastic character piece movie. It's almost like a James Bond movie, but with a Wolverine. Great movie, did well financially. You know, I think as good or if not better than X-Men Origins Wolverine, and got a better critical response. And the reason why was Fox listened. In fact, generally speaking, that's when they started fixing up their X-Men series with First Class. They made First Class, which was phenomenal. They made that one. Then they did Days of Future Past, and now they have Bryan Singer doing X-Men Apocalypse, which hopefully will be as entertaining as Days of Future Past. So what I'm saying is that, you know, when I think as a studio, it is your job as a production, you know, team or distributor or whatever, to not be blindsided by how much money you make. Don't be like, wow, we made this much money. Fuck the reviews. They don't know what they're talking about. Because if you recall, here's another example. If you remember the Batman series before The Dark Knight, they made Batman Returns, and it made its money back, but Tim Burton was kind of like, you know, he got to do whatever he wanted. It's not really a Batman movie if you really think about it. Then they made Batman Forever, and that movie did so fucking well, despite getting pretty bad reviews, that Warner Brothers fast-tracked the shit out of Batman and Robin. And I don't have to finish that story. You guys know how Batman and Robin turned out. See, in that case, Warner Brothers ignored the reviews and looked at the money only and said, fuck it. This is like kind of the opposite of Wolverine. They looked at that and they said, fuck it, go and make it. And Batman, you know, come on, Batman and Robin was a terrible movie, and it made less money than Batman Forever. So ultimately, dude, as a studio, you have to look at both aspects. They're symbiotic. Reviews are very important because they generate buzz for movies. But box office revenue is also very important. You know, Deadpool, great example, got great reviews, got, you know, everyone went and saw it. The buzz started going around. That movie's made a crap ton of money, and they're going to give it a big budget sequel. So, yeah, I agree with everything you said, dude. That's basically, you have to pay attention to both aspects. Super important. You have to do that as a company. And if, like I said, if this rumor is true, I'm very happy about that. I bet you anything, Justice League, they're gonna do a quick rewrite. And make it a lot, because they're about to start filming. They're going to do a quick rewrite and make it a lot more lighthearted and make it like a fun movie.
As Union Jack in a different universe.
Like you crossover, just like
that's the first Marvel DC crossover. Just starting agreement, Union Jack.
Fucking throw in Captain Britain too, man. Like
Captain Britain. I am Captain Britain. That's the plot twist, Chris. Stop ruining the movie.
But yeah, I guess on that note, we should probably close the show.
Make great points.
Yeah, this was fun way to kind of end it. I like that, man. That was fun stuff. But all right, guys, I think that concludes this week's episode of the Gamer Headline Show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TGH Show, and be sure to like our Facebook page, The Gamer Headline Show, for up-to-date episodes from Gamer Headlines' official podcast. Additionally, The Gamer Headline Show can be found on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, and of course, as always, right here at GamerHeadlines.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next week with another episode.
See you later.